What if I told you that everything you've been taught about attracting women is wrong? That it's not your looks, your status, or your charm that makes her stay, but something far more subtle, something most men never even consider. In the next few minutes, we're not just talking about dating, we're talking about a shift in power, a shift in how you carry yourself, a shift in how she sees you. Because once you understand what truly pulls her in, you'll never chase again. Part 1. Attraction begins within. Some truths will never be found in dating advice books, rom-coms, or viral relationship tips because the real secret isn't in what you say. It's in your silence. Not in what you wear, but in the presence you carry. Welcome to a journey that cuts through all the noise, the lies you've been told about how to attract women, how to win her over, how to play the game. Today, we're not playing games, we're going deeper. Here's the truth no one wants to say out loud. You don't need to chase women, you need to master yourself. This isn't about being flashy, rich, or smooth-talking. This is about becoming a man with depth. A man who's grounded. A man who carries calm in chaos. And let me tell you, when you reach that level of inner mastery, everything changes. Women notice, people notice, but most importantly, you notice. What we're diving into today isn't pickup tactics. It's ancient wisdom, Stoicism applied to modern relationships. The kind of mindset that turns you from a seeker into a magnet. Because when you stop reacting, when you stop needing her validation, when you no longer fear rejection, that's when attraction flips. That's when she starts noticing you, not because you tried, but because you didn't have to. So if you're ready to stop chasing and start attracting, not through tricks, but through truth, then stay with me. Let's break it all down step by step. Part 2. The lie you've been sold about attraction. Let's start by pulling the curtain back on one of the biggest lies men have been sold for generations. You've been told to chase. You've been told that if you're persistent enough, charming enough, if you say all the right things and buy all the right gifts, she'll eventually choose you. But here's the hard truth. The more you chase her, the more you lose yourself, and she can feel that. Society painted this picture where the man is supposed to endlessly pursue, bend over backward, and mold himself into whatever shape he thinks she wants. But Stoicism teaches us something radically different. If you want to be loved, first become someone worthy of love, not in their eyes, but in your own. Inspired by Epictetus. See, women don't fall for the man who tries too hard, they fall for the man who doesn't need to try. Because while others are trying to impress her, you are mastering yourself. And that is magnetic. Here's what most men miss. A woman doesn't pull away because you're not good enough. She pulls away because she senses something unstable inside you, a need for validation, a lack of inner control. And whether she can explain it or not, she feels it, and she retreats. But when you shift your energy inward, when you stop trying to prove and start simply being, you become unshakable, calm, grounded. That's when she leans in. Because here's the paradox of attraction. The less you chase, the more she feels drawn to understand you. The more secure you are, the more mysterious you become. This isn't about pretending to be aloof. It's not about playing hard to get. It's about embodying a level of emotional independence that most men never reach because they're too focused on the external. So here's your first Stoic challenge. Stop chasing. Not because you're giving up, but because you're waking up. You've been lied to, and now you see it clearly. Part 3. The power of emotional control, the true source of attraction. Let me ask you something personal. When was the last time you felt completely in control of your emotions? Not just putting on a brave face, but truly grounded, no matter what she said, no matter how the situation shifted? If you're like most men, your answer might be never. And that's not your fault. You were never taught this. In fact, most men are trained directly or indirectly to react. React to her mood. React to her silence. React to her approval or lack of it. But here's what Stoicism teaches us. Reaction is weakness, response is power. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. The man who is in control of himself, his thoughts, his feelings, his impulses, is the man women naturally feel safe around. Because while others spiral into anxiety, fear, or desperation, he remains calm. And let's be clear, emotional control isn't about being cold. It's not about shutting down or suppressing how you feel. It's about being the calm eye in the storm. It's about saying to the world, I feel everything, but nothing owns me. Imagine this. You're on a date. She says something that would throw most guys off. Maybe she challenges you, teases you, tests your ego. But instead of reacting with defensiveness, insecurity, or overcompensating, you smile. You lean back, you're not triggered, because you know who you are and you're not there to prove anything. That, my friend, is real power. That's the kind of presence she remembers. Not the guy with rehearsed lines, but the man who can hold himself steady when others fall apart. Here's the key takeaway. You're not there to win her. You're not there to impress her. You're there to be yourself, fully. And let her choose if she can rise to meet that. When you stop reacting, you create space. And in that space, she feels your strength. She feels the kind of grounded masculinity that most men have lost touch with. You don't need to chase, because still waters run deep and women are drawn to the depth. Part words, words that connect. Speaking to her soul, not just her ego. Most men believe that the secret to attraction lies in saying the right thing. Some clever pickup line, a well-timed compliment, or a smooth joke that gets a laugh. But here's the truth, women have heard it all. You're beautiful, you're so hot. It goes in one ear and out the other. Why? Because she's immune to it. She's heard those lines 1,000 times. What she rarely hears, what truly stops her in her tracks, is something real, something that connects not to her appearance, but to her essence. That's where your words gain power. Stoicism teaches us to be intentional, deliberate, not just with our actions, but with our language. So instead of complimenting her body, compliment her character. Don't just say she looks amazing. Tell her you admire how focused she is when she talks about something she loves. Instead of reaching for generic flattery, say something that makes her feel seen in a way no one else has. I love how passionate you are when you talk about that. Most people don't go that deep. That kind of recognition sticks. It bypasses ego and speaks to identity. It says, I see you. Not just what you look like, but who you are. Even something as simple as using her name at the right moment can have an incredible effect. It makes her feel acknowledged, not like just another person in the room, but like the only person in the room. Use it sparingly, strategically, not every sentence, but say it when you want to land a point or when you're offering a genuine compliment. It creates intimacy without trying too hard. And here's something powerful that most men overlook: gratitude. Show appreciation not just for the big gestures, but for the small things. When she shares a thought, when she supports you, when she simply listens, acknowledge it. A heartfelt thank you holds more weight than most men realize. It tells her you notice the little things, and in a world where she's likely taken for granted, that makes you stand out. At the same time, stop over-apologizing. Too many men say I'm sorry when they haven't done anything wrong, just to avoid conflict or appear agreeable. But over-apologizing communicates weakness, not kindness. Apologize when it's necessary, but never for your truth, your presence, or your values. Women respect a man who stands by his word and owns his space. Here's the bottom line. Words can open doors, but only when they're rooted in truth. When you speak from a place of calm, grounded awareness, not seeking approval, but offering genuine presence, your words resonate. They leave echoes, not noise. And in that space, attraction grows. Not because you chased it, but because you earned it through who you are. Part 5. Action over talk. Embodying confidence without saying a word. You've heard the saying, actions speak louder than words, but in the realm of attraction, it's more than just a cliche. It's a law. You can say all the right things, memorize every dating tip in the book, and still lose her attention if your actions don't align with your words. Because women don't just hear what you say, they feel how you move. They notice how you carry yourself, and they sense whether your presence is grounded or built on performance. This is where Stoicism comes into play, not just as a mindset, but as a way of moving through the world. The Stoic man doesn't just speak with intention, he walks with it. His body language is calm, rooted, relaxed. His presence says, I know who I am. I don't need to prove it. Most guys fidget. They shift their weight, avoid eye contact, or overcompensate with exaggerated gestures. But when you're grounded, feet planted firmly, shoulders relaxed, eyes steady, you send a different signal. One that says, I'm not here to perform. I'm here to be. And that is rare. Even the way you enter a room tells a story. Most men rush in, head down, eyes scanning, nervous to be seen. But the Stoic man walks in slowly, deliberately. He doesn't hurry because he's not chasing anything. His movements are intentional, like every step belongs there. And because he believes he belongs, others believe it too. That's how presence is built, not through loudness, but through stillness. Now let's talk about gestures, those quiet, powerful actions that reveal attention and emotional intelligence. Most guys think they need grand romantic moves, flowers, flashy dinners, Instagrammable moments. But what truly creates connection? Small, meaningful signals. She mentioned her favorite author last week? Show up with a book by that author. She shared a challenge she's facing? Check in, ask how she's doing. Not to score points, but because you actually care. These aren't tactics. They're reflections of a man who listens deeply and remembers details. And when women feel seen like that, it changes everything. Finally, stop trying to entertain her. You're not her comedian. You're not there to perform for applause. That's exhausting for both of you. Instead, be the man who listens more than he speaks, the one who stays present in silence, the one who doesn't fill space with noise, but with calm energy. You'd be surprised how magnetic that is. Because here's the truth, confidence isn't something you project, it's something you embody. And you don't need to shout it, you just need to live it. Part 6. Stoic Strength in Conflict. How to stay centered when things go wrong. Let's be honest, things won't always go your way. The date might flop. The energy might feel off. She might say something that throws you off balance. And in those moments, most men panic. They start adjusting, fixing, overcompensating, doing anything they can to recover the situation. But here's the truth. How you show up when things don't go as planned says more about your character than anything you do when it's easy. Stoicism was made for moments like this. It's not a philosophy for calm seas, it's a mindset for rough waters. Because real strength isn't about control, it's about composure. Imagine this. You're on a date and the vibe's off. Maybe the conversation is awkward, maybe the food takes too long. Most guys would fumble, try harder, start talking more, cracking nervous jokes. But not you. You're not there to fix the moment. You're there to anchor it. You remain calm, relaxed, unbothered, because you know something she doesn't. The situation doesn't define you, your response does. And when she sees that, when she notices that you're not shaken, not needy, not trying to win back her attention, she starts to relax too. Your stillness becomes her stability. Your calm becomes contagious. Now let's talk about something even harder. When she starts pulling away, maybe the texts slow down, maybe the energy shifts. For most guys, this triggers full-blown anxiety. They start texting more, calling more, chasing harder, trying to fix something that can't be forced. But here's the Stoic move. You don't chase what retreats. You don't beg for her attention, you step back, not out of ego, but out of wisdom, because you know that anything real won't need to be chased. And if she walks, you let her. You stay grounded, centered in your worth. And guess what? That's exactly when she starts to wonder who you are, why you're different, why you're not panicking like everyone else. That space you create, it speaks volumes. Women don't just want emotional intensity, they want emotional safety. And nothing creates that safety like a man who doesn't collapse under pressure. That's the heart of Stoic strength, not being cold or distant, but being unmoved by drama. Present, but not dependent. Open, but not dependent. Because when everything goes sideways and you're still composed, she sees the truth. You're not trying to hold her, you're holding yourself. Part 7. Be who you are, not who you think she wants. At the end of all of this, after the mindset shifts, the emotional discipline, the body language, the subtle gestures, there's one truth that rises above everything else. You can't fake wholeness. You either own who you are or you chase the illusion of who you think someone wants you to be. And let me be clear, women can feel the difference instantly. Most guys fall into the trap of performance. They start molding themselves into what they believe is desirable, more charming, more agreeable, more whatever she seems to like. But here's the problem. Every time you shapeshift to meet her expectations, you lose a piece of yourself. And that loss is felt, not just by you, but by her. She can't trust a version of you that doesn't feel real. She can't connect to a man who's busy being a mirror instead of a presence. Being true to yourself doesn't mean being stubborn. It doesn't mean rejecting growth. It means that even as you evolve, you don't abandon your center. You don't sell out your values for approval. You don't dilute your voice to be accepted. The Stoic man understands this. He knows that self-respect is the foundation of every meaningful connection. He doesn't strive to be perfect. He strives to be real, and that authenticity, it resonates far deeper than perfection ever could. So stop trying to become her fantasy. Start becoming your own standard. Speak with honesty, act with intention, love without losing yourself, because the right woman, the one worth your time, your energy, your vulnerability, won't be drawn to your performance, she'll be drawn to your presence. And when you finally let go of the chase, when you stop reaching and start being, that's when everything shifts. She doesn't just notice you, she respects you. She wants to understand you, and most importantly, she feels safe with you, not because of what you say, not because of what you have, but because of who you are when you're standing in your truth. So here's the ultimate truth. Attraction isn't something you pursue, it's something you embody. And the deeper you go within yourself, the stronger your presence becomes. If you've made it this far, I want to pause for a moment and say thank you. Not just for listening, but for showing up. For choosing to look inward when the world keeps pulling your focus outward. For choosing growth over games, stillness over noise, mastery over manipulation. You see, this podcast wasn't just about dating. It was never only about women. It was always about you. About who you become when you stop chasing and start creating. About what happens when you stop trying to impress others and start respecting yourself. Because that's when life starts to shift. Not just in relationships, but in everything. The way people respond to you, the way opportunities begin to unfold, the way peace starts to replace pressure. That's what Stoicism offers you. Not a trick, not a shortcut, but a foundation. Something you can stand on when things feel uncertain. Something that won't shake when others walk away. A quiet strength that doesn't demand attention, but naturally commands it. So if something from today resonated with you, if it challenged you or helped you see yourself more clearly, I invite you to keep going, keep becoming, keep mastering. This isn't about becoming someone else. It's about finally becoming you, fully and unapologetically. And if you're ready to keep building that life, one with depth, purpose, and true connection, I'd love to walk that path with you. Subscribe, stay tuned, and let's keep growing together. Until next time, remember, you don't need to chase love. You just need to become the kind of man love can't help but find. Thank you for listening.